This podcast provides a platform that will share many different points of views that should empower you, uplift you, make you want to go out and do right. When you hear the term still a man, say, yes, I am. Still a man. Yes, I am. Still a man. Yes, I am. Let's go.
What's up, people? Welcome to another exciting edition of the Still a Man podcast. Today is Tuesday, November 1st, 2022. Hope everyone had a healthy, happy, safe Halloween. And all you guys that was tricking, I hope y'all didn't get a treat. Well, it wouldn't have been a treat. Well, maybe it would have been a treat, but I digress. All right, tonight's topic, we are discussing Britney Griner. Is she a political prisoner or a political pawn? And for those of you who don't know who Britney Griner is, she is I believe, 32-year-old WNBA phenomenon. She's legendary.
Really? Why is she overseas? She's a phenomenon. She could be in the States.
She has won a championship with the WNBA, and I believe she's won several championships with the Russian team that she plays for. So let's get a little acquainted. Everybody go around the room. We're going to figure out what you know about WNBA. Unless you've been living in a hole somewhere in a secluded country, isolated from everybody else, you should have seen this on even Facebook, YouTube, IG, Instagram, even on CNN and Fox News. Everybody's been talking about it. So let's get your you guys' opinion. Let's start with a lady, Patsy. How do you feel about Britney Griner? Do you think that she is a target or a tool for political purpose? So do you think she's a political prisoner or a political pawn?
I think she might be a little bit of both.
Okay. Give us more.
Because she is popular and she's well known and she's a good athlete, so given that she's an American and she plays both here and in Russia on both teams.
Mm-hmm.
And Russia has different issues regarding trying to do some control over, with interfering with some of the stuff that we have here with the voting and stuff, and then doing other stuff in the Ukraine and stuff. So they're using her as a political pawn and everything, just to try to gain control over whatever they want to do and have us adhere to the way Russia wants. And
She's a good bargaining chip.
Yeah.
All right, Timmy, sounds like you ready to go. Same question. What do you think about Britney Griner and her situation? Do you think she's a political prisoner or a political pawn?
Well, my thing is, she shouldn't have had her ass over there in the first place. That's the first and foremost. If you a phenomenal athlete, what the hell are you doing overseas? You should have made all your money here in the States, but you want to be, I can understand you making money overseas. That's cool and everything, but when you start looking like you trafficking drugs, and here's the thing, You already know that they are out to get any Americans that come over there, and you just happen to be over there and being stupid. You probably got away with it before, but now, they got a war going on, and they're feuding with the United States. They're not talking. So my thing is, you should have known better.
And is it safe to say that you view it as she's a political prisoner due to her stupidity?
Yep. And all that talk about switching her for the dude that they got here in the United States, that was all propaganda. Because they was never letting that dude go for her. What is she? She just I hate to say it, but she just a fucking a pawn, stupid black chick that got caught up over there, and they ain't working hard really to try to get her out of that.
Okay, you said a mouthful, so let's hear from one of the Black queens. How do you feel about that? Welcome back, Keisha. You ready to share? Same question, Britney Griner. What you know about her? What you know about the situation? Political prisoner or political pawn?
Both.
So you think she's both? You want to elaborate? You want to tell us why you feel that way?
They trying to use her as an example, first of all, because she's Black. That's one. Second of all, she's one of the best athlete females, and she's Black. And I don't feel like she shouldn't have took her ass over there. She wanted to travel or whatever. They took it all out of content. They just doing shit like Patsy said. They want to control somebody. So that's basically how I feel about that.
Well said. Well said. All right, let's go to one of the
let
brothers.
me jump in there. D,
all right, Sean.
Yeah, because I want everyone to have a complete understanding of what's going on, so we don't keep saying what we're saying. Number one, she was over there because she was on her way to play ball. She played a lot of the WNBA. Women go across overseas because they don't make the kind of money that the men make here. So it's just like a part-time job for them.
Right.
And so she was coming from one country playing ball and on her way to play, because she actually plays for Russia.
Yes, she does.
So she was on her way there to start playing. Now, to answer your initial question, do I think is she a political prisoner or a pawn? It's a combination of both plus one more stance. The political pawn is they want to use her as leverage towards the U.S. because at some point in time they're going to try to use her as some type of a gain with the U.S. for Russia in their war against Ukraine, because U.S. supports Ukraine. As the political pawn. As the political prisoner, they at some point going to try to tie it all in together to get one of their biggest arms dealer that we're actually holding on our American soil, try to get him released to get over to there. Now, the other part that I initially thought of before I learned all of the political part of it, she had 4 to 5 strikes already against her being over in Russia.
See?
The first strike that she had.
That's what I'm talking about.
Let him lay it out.
The first strike that she had against her was she was a woman. The second strike she had against her, she was a Black woman. The third strike that she had against her was she was a lesbian. The fourth strike that she had against her was she was an American. And those four things in Russia's eyes is a no-no. And so I didn't have a problem with her being arrested because she knew that carrying any form of drugs into Russia is illegal.
Right. That's what I was saying,
The
Sean.
sentence that she got,
ignorant.
and D, cut me off from going too long. The sentence that she got was 9 years. The sentence actually carried a 10-year sentence. That was the maximum that she could get.
Right.
And the prosecutor asked for 9.5. But the judge felt to be a little bit lenient and just narrowed it down to 9 years.
And I think I read somewhere where they said they're going to see if they can get her a shortened time due to time served to add to take off subtract from the 9 years the time.
And that's not going to happen. I'll promise you this. That's not going to happen.
I don't think so neither.
Now, can I add to what Sean said?
Yes, Tanya, go ahead. Same question. Political prisoner or political pawn?
I think she's both. And a lot for the pawn for a lot of the reasons that Sean said. The prisoner, but the pawn is that Putin knew that he was going to go to war with Ukraine well in advance. He had plotted this all out, and he knows that Britney Griner is an American, a Black woman, and a lesbian. All those things that Sean said was strikes against her. And once Biden said that they was going to back Ukraine indefinitely, he put the plan in that when she comes through, to stop her and have her arrested, because that was when she became a political pawn.
Got it.
That's nice. Why they
somebody kicked them off.
And the United States had offered that arms dealer for trade for her, and they didn't answer back. They kept giving them wanting somebody that they had no control over releasing in another country. So Putin already knew that he had his plan all planned out. That he was going to use her as a political pawn, and he let the one guy go. There's another one that's there that they've been trying to negotiate to get out. But he's still there.
So let me say this to you guys before we move on. Y'all know this is a game of chess, and so you can't come to the table with rules that you would use playing checkers. So Putin and anybody else associated with him, they're playing the long game. They're not thinking about short term. They're thinking about long term. How can they benefit? All right, let's hear.
All I say to that is don't.
Hold on, Timmy. Hold on, because I want to make sure we go around before we open to the table. All right, so we heard from Patsy, we heard from Sean, we heard from Tanya, we heard from Timmy. All right, let's get it, and we heard from Keisha. Let's get another man in there. Robbie, you ready to share?
Yeah. So much I agree with Sean was saying about she has those strikes against her, being a woman, being gay, being Black, and just whatever else he said. I agree with that. But this lady had played with this country for 7 years. I'm pretty sure they knew her well.
Yeah.
Her doctor, before going there, allegedly, I don't want to say it's the truth, but this is what I'm hearing. He prescribed her the marijuana oil.
Now, let me stop you right there. Was that a doctor, American doctor or a Russian doctor?
It was American doctor.
All right, go ahead.
Now, listen, their law to that is they don't have no tolerance for the drugs. She already knew, if she knew by being there for 7 years, what the consequences was going to be. That being said,
That's what I was talking
the
about.
political prisoner, the political prisoner and the political pawn, I believe is both. America, they would like to waive her and Paul Whelan.
But don't. We'll come back to the other surprise.
Because that's what I'm believing that they're trying to negotiate.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that.
All right. Well, now you know you done got me started. Someone else is gonna piggyback off of that.
No, because I'm gonna stop them too. Maria, you with us? Okay, that's not Maria.
Yes, I'm here.
All right, Patty, how you feel about this situation?
Yeah, Maria's here. I see her.
You political prisoner or political pawn?
It's a political pawn.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I don't know what Robin was about to say about the prisoner they got over here, but I think it was all about the war as well.
Mm-hmm. That's short and sweet, right to the point. All right, let's go to Bird. Bird, you ready to share?
Yeah, I'm here. I think she rubbed someone the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she been smoking all this time over there. Let's keep it a buck. If I don't know this case, I honestly don't give a shit about this case because it doesn't affect my life, so I could care less. But she's been out there. Now I know I'm educated. 7 years. She ain't just stopped smoking. She been in this for a while. She might have rubbed somebody the wrong way because I don't know how you figure she's getting paid a good amount of money to play basketball. You're generating revenue to whoever owns the team, whoever owns the city. People come play games. You're generating revenue to this country. And for them to do her now after 7 years of playing there, she didn't just start indulging in marijuana. This isn't new. She probably rubbed somebody the wrong way too. And they said, well, end your career. And right now she has to do these 9 years. Her career's over.
Yeah.
So
they killed her. They killed her basically, but they didn't murder. You know, they didn't kill her body. They killed her career.
Mm-hmm. So you know.
Now, Bird, what you say is her fault, right? Because she shouldn't have been.
Man, listen, she's been getting away with it for all these years. Now it's a problem. She was doing this. I'm sorry.
So let me say this to you guys.
She's the first time she got caught.
So let me say this to you guys.
Who knows?
You know she was old. She makes the WNBA players do not make as much money as the
they don't generate
NBA.
enough money to the they don't generate enough money to the
no,
WNBA.
They don't have enough viewers. They don't have enough viewers and
exactly.
A lot of women.
Games, people ticket sales. It's I get it. It's a sport, don't get me wrong. But you're not going to get paid the same amount of money as the men, not just because you're a woman, but you're not bringing in the revenue. The revenue doesn't come in to support the salaries. Point blank.
So
you're not big time.
I believe. I believe
they're not selling out stadiums. They're not making the kind of money. The sportswear, you know, even the endorsements aren't big. They're not generating sales out of the WNBA.
I believe
that's why it's not big.
I believe her salary in America was over $200 something thousand, and in Russia, just playing for about 5 months or so, she made $1 million or more.
I hope so.
So she made a lot of money to compensate whatever she didn't make here in America. But
right.
That's just,
and she brought money to this country. She was, and I think you got Bill Cosby, you got R. Kelly's, you got Kanye now, Kanye West, but you know, Kanye's a genius. The hell with what y'all say.
Okay.
But
well,
they kill your career.
All right.
Hell yeah, he is.
All right. So we gonna come back to that. We gonna leave Ye where he is. All right, Kelly, are you with us?
I'm with you. I agree with Tanya, Robert, and Sean and Bird, because it's all true. And actually, on The View, Oprah interviewed, not Oprah, but on The View, her wife was interviewed today. Funny, we're talking about it. And she was speaking about, you know, the fact that she'd been over there for so many years. So I agree with Bird. She's been doing this. She's aware of the rules over there. You know what I'm saying? And it's just
That's
the
why
timing.
he said
It
she
was
was
just
stupid.
the timing. She probably didn't know, but Putin, like Tanya said, knew what was about to happen, and they stopped her in her tracks, and then they just used her as a pawn scheme, right? Because of what Biden was doing, helping Ukrainians. You know what I mean? And so, like the wife was saying, that mentally she's not surviving. She needs support. She's not doing well mentally, and they're not going to release her early. And even though they're trying to work out this transition on the down low, that's not moving fast enough. And they also stated that, some of the crimes that happens over there in Russia, like people that literally kills people, are getting less time than what she's getting. And so they don't understand, and
they're
so
getting less time because they're being integrated into the war.
Right. Not only that,
They're casualties. They're casualties of war.
Go ahead,
Deli.
Ponzi comes in, and we'll hold on to her until you loosen up. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Let's hear from the Minister of Conspiracy, Mr. G. Lacey.
Mary Khan. That's how that's how they feel about this. Are you kidding me? They're at war with Ukraine and America's helping them. They don't give a goddamn about this lady.
So do
you really don't? Still at war?
So do you believe she's a political prisoner or a pawn?
Both. She's a political pawn prisoner.
Okay. Did we Josie, are you with us?
Yeah. Come off your mic, Jody.
Come on, Jody.
Okay.
She's not with us yet. We got Rachel in the building.
Did I miss anybody? Did I get everybody?
Razor.
We got Rachel in the building.
Rachel? All right, Rachel. Rachel, give us your perspective. What do you think about your brethren? Do you feel that she's a political prisoner or political pawn?
I think she's a prisoner who's being used as a pawn in the whole political, this all around. I don't follow this story too much, so I'm kind of listening to everybody's details and whatnot that's going on.
Okay.
And I kind of not blew it off, but I seen it and dismissed it because in my mind it was very convenient to the war. And like everybody's kind of pointing out, which I think is true, it's just a convenience. She just became an asset for them. And they took it and ran with it. If I didn't know that she was there for so long, I thought she was just traveling. So that's kind of even worse in my eyes. Like they definitely plotted that out. They're definitely familiar with her, like everyone says. So I just feel like she's a prisoner that was conveniently, they knew it was going to be easy to catch her. So she's a prisoner who conveniently became a pawn.
A high-profile prisoner at that.
And exactly, definitely high profile. Did I get everybody? Is Kiana with us?
What about you, Deacon Dave?
I'll give my views. I just want to give everybody a chance first. Was your Razor's with us still?
No, she just
got you in.
Me.
No worries. All right. So you guys want my views. It's fair. All right. It's only fair. I agree with everybody else. I think it's a little bit of both. I think she's a political prisoner, and just being used as a pawn. Yeah, I'm not certain based upon the president of that country's politics, if she's a part of his Fab Five. I don't know if she's one of his favorite people. I don't know if he's fond of her as a whole, but I do want people to remember this too. People of color, we are treated basically the same everywhere in the world. So let's not try to dismiss that in any way. This is a woman of color. Happens to be again, like Sean said earlier, there's a lot of strikes against her in Mother Russia. They're not fond of I don't think women are the top of the the line. I don't think they're protecting their queens when it comes to chess over there. If they're looking at it like that, Mother Russia as a whole is the queen on the chessboard. That's what they're worrying about. So Britney, she is a woman. She's a woman of color. She happens to be someone. Her sexual orientation is something that they're not fond of as well. She's a big thing here in America. But see, that just goes to show you when you go other places, they're still going to remind you of who you are. So again, she just happens to be a woman and a woman of color. So they're going to treat you less than what they treat the women in that land. And I don't even think they treat them well. So that's the way I feel about that. Now, is America doing enough to bring Britney home? Well, that depends on who you talk to.
Hell no.
Because some people are outraged. You got some men that said that she's not worth all the noise that they're making over it. And I'm pretty sure the women on this panel and women all over the world would say that those men should basically keep their opinions to themselves. Now, I would dare say these are the same men that are gathering together in little tight spaces and having conversations about Roe v. versus Wade. So I would say those are the same gentlemen that are making that decision about that. So no one's really fond of their opinion and their perspective. But unfortunately, in the world that we live in, that's whose opinion that matters most. So now you got some men saying that, because there's people saying if she was Tom Brady or the swimmer Phelps or someone else,
Michael Phelps, she will be home right now.
She would be home by now. I would dare say, let's take this a step further. Let's say what's her the fact that if Michael Jordan was caught up in something like this, do you think that Michael would have spent more than a day in captivity?
Hell
Michael
yeah,
wouldn't be there playing for
high
Russia.
profile, grand prize.
Bird says he wouldn't be there playing for them. Gregory says he's high profile. Sean, how you feel about that?
I agree. I jump on Bird's bandwagon.
So Michael would never have to compensate his earnings.
Yeah.
That's fair. Let's hear from one of the ladies. Patsy, how you feel about that? Do you think if Michael or one of the male superstar athletes of this country was caught up like Miss Britney, do you think that there will be any question about his return?
Hell no. There wouldn't be no question. They be like, they be trading somebody in the heartbeat.
I mean, they might be trading Little Ray Ray and Pookie to bring Michael Jordan home. I'm just trying to tell you. They ain't gonna let him stay over there. That's just my belief. Okay, so let's take it a step further. Not an athlete. Let's say.
Oh, can I say this though, y'all? Because I don't think they would have cared about him either. Look, they was gonna arrest Muhammad Ali for not going to war.
Yeah, but we talking about Russia. I
know you're talking about Russia, but I don't think they would have let him go because if he was such a high profile person getting arrested.
Well, Sean, you was gonna say something?
Yeah, I'm about to flip flop because listening to what Gregory just said and actually really paying attention to the question, if it was a high profile and same situation, same time, this and that and the other, I believe they would be there because it's even more of a bargain chip for Russia.
Mm-hmm. Well, Mr. Gregory, you ready?
Here's the thing. The thing is,
hold on, we're gonna let Timmy talk, and then we're gonna go to the video.
She's African American. That's the thing.
So let's Gregory, let us know when you're ready with the video. Until Gregory's ready, let's keep the conversation going.
1 second, Joe.
So all right, guys. So how you feel about this? Some people are saying she should have never been there because she makes enough money here in the States.
That's not true.
She was being greedy. That's what some people say. And most of the people that's leading up that, most of those people that's leading up that conversation are men. So ladies, how you feel about that? Deli, how you feel about her going over to Russia to make more money because she feel like that she's not getting her just due here in America?
Well, as I understood it from her wife, she wasn't making enough, and most women's basketball is not recognized, as Bird was saying. So
they make more money overseas.
Exactly. So she was making the ends meet and trying to put her wife through school. That's why her wife is an attorney now.
That's greedy wife of hers. Caused her to go to jail overseas.
Now,
half,
all right,
half of those WNBA players play overseas though to make extra money.
They do,
yeah.
But who are we to say what's acceptable? What's not enough money or what's enough money?
My cousin went overseas to play ball.
But wait a minute, right? How many male athletes that went overseas?
Right.
Have you heard them getting arrested overseas? I'm pretty sure they have.
I don't think that should be a factor. It's a job. She was doing her job.
Exactly.
So that shouldn't matter if she was a woman or if she was
the bottom line, she know the rules over there because she's been there for years. So she know the rules over there. And if you knew that they were getting ready to get into something with the United States, you get the hell out of Dodge, or you do not do anything that's going to get your behind thrown in jail.
Well, let's just stay right there.
9 years for an empty cottage. She didn't even have no more oil in there.
So let's just stay right there. Let's talk about this. She was caught with basically street values, street measurements, 1 gram. I don't know what 1 gram is on the streets.
It's nothing.
I'm thinking, is it
a gram?
Is it a couple of grams like sugar?
I thought it was a vape.
It was.
But they amounted into the measurement was a gram. They said that's what was.
She probably had about 3 more tokes out of her pen. That's it.
No, according to others,
is a full pen.
No. According to others, I don't even think it was that, Maria. I don't even think it was 3 tokes. They said it was 0.0.7, something like that.
So, because when you see when they pull it out, it looks like it's nothing it's just at the end of it.
Well, I never. So again, for
enough for them to throw her ass in jail. That's what it was.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. My thoughts that I shared with Gregory earlier was, okay, if she's shown up with the empty cartridge, right? Illegal over there. So that meant that she was doing illegal things.
Right, that meant she transported it. That's what she's probably being arrested for.
And
that is what they arrested her for.
Y'all started to come together and figure out that
they did arrest her for transporting.
Well, we know what they said.
She's definitely doing something illegal, though.
We know what they said.
Illegal shit.
We know what they said they arrested her for.
Yeah, that's right, because they got propaganda news.
That's what they said they arrested her for.
I mean, they did say that they were known for doing different things.
Now let's just say this again. I agree, Josie. I don't know if you heard us earlier, but Sean pointed out some things. There were some cards that were stacked up against Miss Britney going in because she happens to be a woman of color. Sean, you want to name those again?
She was a black woman. She was a lesbian.
Was American.
American.
That's the 4 right there.
And her
That was
sexual,
3 of them.
yeah,
And we'll throw one more in there.
Mhm.
Remember, she was also, because she's a black activist, and she was wearing the Black
That's
Lives
right,
Matter
feminist.
Oh
sweatshirt.
yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah,
That
yeah,
too.
yeah.
She's a feminist.
Yeah,
There you go, the
yeah.
feminist.
Now, you guys got to remember, there's a women's movement that is beyond taking shape in America and beyond. Women are not only being seen, they're being heard, and people are hearing their voices. They're speaking volumes. And in these, where people are misogynists, these male chauvinists, they want women to be seen and not heard. So if you live in these type of environments, these type of countries, that's a strike against you.
That's what our country's trying to do now.
So we got to remember that. Mr. Lacey, do you have the video ready? All right, we're gonna give Gregory a little more time to get that video.
Yes, I have the video ready. Sorry,
okay,
my thing's muted.
All right, so anytime we ready to share. All right, guys, we're gonna learn a little bit more about Britney and her situation. Guys,
So let me just jump right in before someone,
go ahead, Charlie,
try to claim my fame.
So wait, before you do that, let me just say this. Let me just say this to you guys. Everybody, turn your mic back on so you can get ready to be a part of the discussion, because it may get heated right now. So based upon that, you have a white American male. I believe he was military. That guy that just came home, and he's worried about Britney and others based upon his ordeal, where he incurred while he was in prison for 9 years. So he's a man, a military man. He's telling you that he's concerned about her well-being and others. So it's just due concern. This man is telling you this. So for all of those that say she's getting what she deserves, do you still feel that way? Because let's be clear about this. That country is not fond of feminists. They're not fond of women. They're not fond of women, people of color, and they're not fond of the LGBTQ plus community. That's stuff that they frown on.
And activists.
And that
Dave, I have one thing to say.
But the country pays her to play for their country.
Exactly.
So all of this is against her, but we pay you to come here to generate revenue to this country.
Right.
Well, y'all, that further lets you know.
What I have to say is to those, you see how they treat their prisoners, right? American prisoners got toilets. They ain't got no floor.
Play a big role in this, but is this the sole role? We know it absolutely isn't. It could have been anybody they want to hold that's kind of considered somebody here. It could have been anybody they're holding. Any American, right. So they were just waiting to find something or someone. They just didn't find a big enough piece to play.
And that goes back to what I said earlier about Michael Jordan, yo. If they would have caught him, they would have been holding him for the longest.
All right, since Robbie, I know he is just busting at the seams to share his information with you guys. So Robbie, have at it.
All right, the Russian dude, his name is Victor, I don't know, Victor Wow, whatever his name is, that America has over here for a 25-year sentence. All right, that guy. Russia wants him back so bad. So what America's plan was, since this dude has 25 years and has been down for a while, we're going to try to do the math on our hand and get 25 years from you guys. So 9 years from the national player and 16 years from American dude named Paul Whelan. Together, 16 and 9 makes 25. So we figured we do an even trade if you let both our people go, and we'll let your person go.
But I thought it was 2 people they wanted to be let go.
Did you hear what I just said there? I think. Well, you talking about Russia?
Yeah, I thought it was two of them. I don't know.
We don't have no control over that other. They're trying to
the dude Paul Whelan went to they put him in prison over there in Russia for espionage. They figured they gave him 16 years from doing that. Victor is the dude that Russia wants back for Paul and that girl, I thought.
No, but I thought you was going to share something else with us.
No, I tried to share the Paul Whelan dude earlier, and I try to tell you if you put her 9 years with his 16 years he have, that brings it to 25 that America is trying to do a swap for the man that's over here from Russia doing 25 years.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but they think that that's not a legit. But that's what America put on the table, and then Russia didn't want to do it. They countered reacted. What did you do? They did a counter
negotiation
proposal. Yeah, they did a counter proposal to put another prisoner from another country that they have no control over. So America thought that they wasn't being serious.
Mm-hmm. So let me say this to you guys. During my research, we're going to talk about this. There's another prisoner over there. She's a school teacher, and she was in prison because she had a fight with her Russian boyfriend.
And it wasn't so much a fight. It was the Russian dude knew the law over there, and he took advantage of that situation. But at the same time, when he tried to come forward and tell them that it was him being the aggressor, they played him and they played her.
So
what he did was punch her all in the face, scratch her up, smack her around. What she did to defend herself was scratched him with a knife on his nose. When he called the police and the police came near and they took her.
And again, why do you think that is? Why did that take place? Because she is American in Russia, which makes her foreign. Whoever is rattling papers, son, please mute your phone.
And I
can I give you guys that fact check real quick?
To try to look this
Russia
lady
is
up.
Looking for 2 prisoners.
Her name is Sarah. She's a school teacher. She happened to fall hard on times. She broke her arm. She lost her job. She had to bounce back and forth and stay with people. And then she ended up with a Russian dude, which she didn't tell one of her best friends she was dating this man. Her best friend thought that was just a roommate, and he was beating on her, or they had a competition.
Now, and that being said, again, for everybody that thinks that Britney got what she deserved, because you got a lot of people saying too, why are Americans putting up such a fuss, creating such an argument regarding Britney? And there's other.
Well, I have one more video to share with a little background story on Britney.
There are other political prisoners that are there that require the same amount of attention that she's getting. So you have people to say that Britney's not special.
No, they just recently released 10 prison foreigners. They just recently released.
She ain't special.
The Russian, they just recently released a former U.S. Army Staff Sergeant who served 2 years in Iraq and a former U.S. Marine. So apparently they had 10 imprisoned foreign fighters, including Americans, that were released as part of the Russian-Ukraine exchange. I can't say it, as Sadai Arabi says. Okay, yeah. So that's what they say. But that's what they're saying. 10 got released, and some of them were American.
And
that's recent.
Thank you for that insight, Rachel, because that speaks volumes to what I was just saying. You have a lot of Americans and people abroad that feel like the only reason why Britney is getting all this attention is because she's high profile. If she wasn't a WNBA sensation / Russian champion, if she did not, let's be clear about American that played for the Russian championship team, she wouldn't be getting all of this attention. Because then again, it'll be what we talked about earlier. She'll just be a woman of color in a foreign land. See, her wealth wouldn't matter, her prestige, her championship, athletic, attributes and her accolades, none of that would matter. So, again,
it don't.
Gregory, I believe you said you had another video. Is it ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's share. Don't be shy. How you feel about that? You got a little more background on Miss Griner.
A little more knowledge on her.
So again, it seems like she's giving Mother Russia, no pun intended, credit for like raising her to be the current unstoppable force that she is on the basketball court and giving her more perspective, whereas it comes to life, a clearer perspective, I should say. So it taught her to channel those that anger, those demons inside that she had to deal with, so to speak. Again, so do you guys feel like after reading that, listening to that, that Britney is I guess she brought this all on herself still? Do you still feel that way?
I do.
All that history she had over in Russia.
Okay, who's saying I do?
Sean.
So Sean and Tanya. Sean first, then Tanya. Go ahead, Sean.
And Bird was saying he do too.
All right.
I believe she did for the simple fact that the law is the law. He knew what the law was, regardless to whether it was a gram, less than a gram, no gram, or whatever the case may be. The law is the law.
A gram.
We can't dispute that. And we can call it political, we can call it this, that, and the third. Because I mean, if it was set up that way, what else would they have been holding her on? Or or what other laws at the time was she breaking that made them retain her? If not then maybe they would have set her up later on once she got into the country and was actually in her home or whatever the case may be, and tried to arrest her on that. But coming through the airport, having the paraphernalia that she had, she knew she wasn't supposed to have that.
All right, Tanya.
I was just gonna say, as much time as she spent in Russia, she knows what the laws are. And it's like somebody else, like I think it was Bird that said earlier that she had this was just the one time she got caught. It's not the first time that Russia went to war with it's the first time they went to war with Ukraine, but they did the same thing to Georgia in 2014. So this man has a history of snatching up Americans and using them for leverage. So she went in there eyes wide open. So I just think that when you're in a situation like that, granted, you went over there and you found your life, okay, but you still know what the laws are. So you should have took the time to pack your suitcase the night before you went out to party or whatever you was doing, that you was running late and packing your bags and stuff, and that was just thrown in there by accident.
All right,
as she say.
Bert.
Yeah, man, I agree. with both parties, Sean and Tanya, again, she must have rubbed somebody the wrong way because 9 years, I believe, is excessive without a doubt. But the law is the law. I mean, 9 years for that. So I can get 9 years for 10 kilos of cocaine. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter big or small. You got the maximum sentence, which was bold. But again, you've been there 7 years. You know the laws there. You've lived in whatever town they just said she was living in for the past whatever months that she's been separated or filed. So she understands fully the consequence to her actions. And again, excessive, yes. Wrong? No.
100.
Knowing that they're gonna give Americans the ceiling.
Other countries ain't playing. We
Run
playing.
for their money.
Right.
We playing. They beat you. You got no rights as a prisoner.
I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in her in the first place.
They'll kill you in other countries.
She know better. I'm disappointed in her because she fucking know better. She should have known better.
It ain't her first time. You ain't been 7 years playing.
Come on.
You a smoker or whatever you do, and that's hashish oil. That's a whole nother level.
Hashish.
You know that? I mean, it ain't no flower or a vape. A vape ain't hashish. That's for sure. That's some high powered.
Now let's bring it to this. Wait a minute, because I want to get Keisha and Maria and Josie and Patsy back in Delhi. You two, because you guys have been quiet. Keisha, I heard you saying something. Was that you that was saying that's messed up?
Oh, yeah, I said that's messed up. I know she know the laws. I agree with everybody too, but that's just excessive. I don't care.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's just excessive.
That is the penalty and the consequences that you go through when you visit another country that is not the United States that might let you get away with something like that.
Listen, Russia, if you're visiting these countries,
Yeah,
if you're
Timmy,
visiting
but
Russia,
9 years?
China, they don't like us. So
When
you gotta
you
be
go
on
to
your
a
best
different
behavior over
country,
there.
when you go to a different country, you gotta know that it's different over there from America. So if she did, I don't think that she deserved 9 years or whatever.
Exactly.
But
But y'all
that's
missing
the
the
law.
point. You're
That's
missing
their
the
law.
point as to
That's
why
their
she
law.
got the 9.
They got to abide by our laws. We got to abide by
I mean,
their
still,
laws.
they say she got the 9 years because she was transported, but still, like I said, I still
No,
she
got the 9 years because she was American.
That's
yes.
what it is.
Point blank. She got the 9 years because she was American.
Because that is a pattern. If you look at what the guy,
yeah, but they still try to use the weed as the excuse.
He was the American.
Okay,
he received the maximum.
As I was saying, being when you go to a different country, because you American, you don't really know their law or anything like that. So you should be more conscious of what you're doing.
I agree.
Myself, when I go to another country, I don't travel with that stuff.
I agree. I agree full-heartedly with you, Maria, because that is true. I think because we are perceived to be they don't like us. They don't like Americans anyways. They say we nosy, they say we privileged, they say we always in somebody's business.
Don't forget we're lazy.
We run the
lazy's
world.
number one.
We are.
So because we come from the land of milk and honey, and we go to other countries and stuff, and they're not as lax with their rules as we are. Because let's just call it for what it is. When we have people of foreign descent come to our country and they commit a crime, they get better treated.
They get deported. We send them back to their country for which she just got arrested.
After they did their time, Craig, we don't just send people back to their country. They got to do time.
But our prisons are not as harsh on them as they are with America.
For a weed pen, they would have got deported. A hole in the floor, that's
just like this basketball player. She gonna do it tonight. She gonna get deported.
To the bathroom.
There's a lot of things that she can. There's a lot of things that she can endure while she's locked up. Because let's remember, she is not the person that's the puppet master's favorite people. So again, he can have her beaten. He can have her beaten every day if he chose to. He could have her raped.
Well, after just watching that video and her saying that, she used to cut herself and she used to be depressed.
Yes.
So why wouldn't you thank her doing 9 years? Because first of all, was her medicine from her not being depressed, of her feeling like she was a part of this world. Now that she's over there doing 9 years,
over other country and got her ass locked.
All right, but you know what? Let's say this. Let's say this because I'm a little bit. I'm
disappointed in all the
Hold on, Uncle T. Let him finish. Let him finish, Uncle T.
Let me say this to you. I understand, how everybody feels and stuff about this, but let's remember too. This is a woman. This is a woman that happens to be from our country. We have to muster up some type of empathy for this woman because if she wasn't a high-profile athlete, she's still a woman at the end of the day. So we should treat women better than we treat men. But however,
I believe she's non-binary. She's not a woman.
Well, because
over in those countries overseas, the women like they want to do over here in our country, they want to silence the women. The women should not say nothing.
I know that's a grown man. Cut it out.
When I say have sex, bear my kids, cook my food, wash my clothes. That's
woman or no woman, that's a human being right now, and that's what y'all need to pay attention to.
Exactly.
She's being treated wrongly. There's no way around it. The laws are what they are. They're harsher in other lands. I mean, some people might come here and be sentenced to our laws, and they might say for the cameras that the sentencing was harsh, but depending on where they're from, it'd probably be a whole lot harsher in foreign lands. Exactly. But again, I agree with Maria said earlier, when Americans travel abroad, the only thing we need to know as soon as we get going to that airport, getting on any plane leaving the country, you're not in Kansas anymore. You're not in your home land. You're not at home.
No, there's fucking law over in that damn country that you visiting. That's your only hope, knowing the law, and do not carry anything that you know might be legal.
None of that.
The point without
none of that. You cannot travel. I don't care who you are, and if you have been getting by, God bless you. But me, my sister, I already know how she feels.
Let me say this to y'all. Let me say this to y'all too. Let's not forget this. Britney states that was mistakenly brought on the plane and stuff because she was treating an injury and she was finishing it off before she left the country. So that was something that was prescribed to her. Did she know the law?
David, if that was prescribed to her, right? And she was leaving, she was going into the airport. Listen, I'm not taking nothing away from her. I'm just saying this. I could be out of my mind.
Common sense. Common sense.
It's time to go. We're packing our stuff. That's not a part of it.
Common sense.
Well, listen, Dukes, I'm going to say this in fairness to celebrities. There's been multiple celebrities caught in the past couple of years with guns saying they forgot that they had it on them, going to the airport and getting arrested.
But they wasn't.
They still went to jail too.
That's right. And they wasn't traveling to Russia with no gun and forgot, because if they did, they would be forgotten.
It doesn't matter if that is Russia. It could be anywhere. It's about
that's right.
it's about
You better be
You got
happy
to
it wasn't
follow
China.
the
She'll be
laws
nailing on bottle caps
of
right
each
now.
fucking continent. You got to follow the laws of each continent.
Well,
wherever
again,
you travel, you have to follow their fucking laws.
Again, the only
that's
law you need to know, the only thing you need to know when you travel abroad, once you leave America, is you're not in your homeland anymore. So you don't do anything to draw attention to yourself, and don't do anything to become so that you become imprisoned, because it's a long way back. It's hard. Once they get you, they don't want to let you go. That's what you need to know. And we are
depend on the Senate and their
I don't even want to get arrested in another state, let alone a different country. You know, anything that I may get when I'm in the other state or country, it goes in the toilet before I go.
You. Thank
see,
you.
I would dare say,
I can dig you, little sis.
They already don't like America.
He just all over this.
I'm gonna
Hold
take.
on,
I'm
one at a
going
time.
home.
One at a time, yo.
That's all
take it a step further.
That's all I want to say is that I'm going home, and I agree with my sister.
I'm gonna take it a step further.
Boo.
Do not, when you in these foreign lands or abroad, or when you travel outside of your state, do not partake in the things that you would do here at home that would be tolerated. That is the one thing you need to know. If I do this at home, I can't do this when I'm out on the road. You know what I'm saying? Because someone's always watching you. And whatever, in this situation, again, this is a game of chess. And Russia and everybody involved is playing a greater game. And it does not involve the same rules that you play when you playing checkers. Because in America, again, that's like playing checkers. When you go abroad, you got to be equipped with the rules that involve playing checkers. Chess. See? So used to playing checkers.
We gonna keep it cool because rules are for
when me, you, and Fred went to Worcester and we got stopped by the police. It was me, you, Bird, and Lee. Now we got stopped by the cops.
We're not gonna recall it right. We're not gonna recall it right now because we're gonna keep this focus on Britney. Another day we'll talk about this. So let me just say this to you guys again. After seeing that and seeing what Britney, she came from, and you remember the prejudice that you endure here in America follows you all around the world because of their prejudice here at home, their prejudice abroad as well. Because the prejudice that you endure in your homeland did not start here, did not just start here, it came from abroad. So it's going to travel you with you everywhere you go. So if you're hated because of your skin color here in America, chances are you will be in other places too. That's your first strike. If they don't like feminists, activists, and females in other parts of the world, well, that's your second strike. Then the fact that you happen to be your sexual orientation, that's another strike. Then you happen to be a woman of wealth and with the skills that can help you accumulate great wealth. They're not fond of that neither. Because if they're not fond of you having wealth in your homeland, the country that you was born in, do you really think they want you to have that type of money abroad? They do not think that much of you.
A lot of those countries, foreign countries, they don't even like Americans. They don't like the U.S.
Filthy American. They spit on your booth.
But
they don't.
We
they don't like.
They like our money. They like our money.
They don't like us.
That's it.
Exactly. Now, me personally,
and why I say that is
I love vacation
and you do not have no money. If you do not have no money, they will notice you.
They're gonna notice you, period, because you have American. You're American. They know you when you get on the plane. They know you when you get off the plane. They know you when you leave the airport. They know you
when
coming.
You don't belong. when you don't belong there, they can recognize.
So,
it ain't hard to recognize Taurus.
So let me say this, right? Because at the end of the day, it's not about how much money she made. It's not about she should have never been there because she made enough money here. Her skills allowed her to go make a living abroad, and that's why she was there. She had a lapse of judgment, bad decision, and again,
right.
About this.
Right, Dave. I was going to say she made a mistake.
Bad decisions.
She made a mistake.
Bad decisions can cost you your life, your freedom, and other things. And that's what it did in this case. So again, I'm gonna ask y'all, based upon everything that y'all learned tonight, and there's still a wealth of information that we did not even
touch on,
talk about, tonight regarding this case, because it becomes personal. It really does, because again, this is an extension of what's happening to people of color. So again, don't lose face of that. There's a lot of stuff.
Dave, here comes Dave. Here's the one thing I want to understand. How come we always got to be pointing the finger and blaming somebody else? Why can't we blame ourselves for getting ourselves in their predicament?
In her favor.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well,
I got a video on how Putin feels about her.
No, we're not doing that. Where we listening in all fairness, she did take responsibility. She didn't blame nobody else. She did that. That's part of the reason why she basically said she did it. So how much defense can you have when you said she did it? She said she mistakenly brought it with her. She told them her story. They would have probably been a whole lot more sympathetic and empathetic if she was on American grounds, but she wasn't. You was being honest with people who honestly don't like you. So it didn't matter what you said. The fact that they had evidence to take you down, that was all that mattered.
They don't care.
It wouldn't have mattered anyway, because that court is
all I really know is that they don't really care about us.
I don't think that is just a color thing.
I don't care how much
because
she pleads and try to show her differences or her understanding.
Mm-hmm.
They're not trying to hear.
It ain't no color.
It is not
I'm trying to come in here.
All about power. That's all.
You have black Russians. You have black. You have black Russians.
Okay, guys, let's act like we're
one
in middle
at a
school
time.
now. Let's act like we're in middle school now. Respect somebody that haven't said anything in a while. Give them a chance.
Deli said it's about.
So now
let's go to Uncle Robbie.
Now I go into say I don't think it's a color thing. I don't think it's a black thing, because that Paul Whelan dude is from Canada and hold passports in Britain and a couple of other places. That teacher that they got over there held as a prisoner, she's white. So let's not just say this is a color thing. This will happen to black people, because it's happening to all people.
That still happens to black people here.
It's a
but we're talking about Russia doing it.
We like Putin better when he was down with Trump.
It's power and control.
Listen, we didn't just say it was due to race. We said these were some of the We said these were some of the extending circumstances. These were some of the reasons why the cards were stacked against her to begin with. It wasn't just the fact that she was a person. We were saying don't lose face. We were saying don't lose face. Don't lose focus. Don't forget she's a woman of color. If you discriminated against here in your homeland, you could be discriminated against abroad. It just doesn't stop once you leave this country. That's what we're saying. There's greater prejudice when you go abroad, but best believe your skin is not a uniform. You don't get to take that off and put it on like a
It ain't got
uniform,
nothing to do
no
with
matter who
skin,
you play
It
for.
don't got nothing to do with skin. Because Tony
Russia's
Braxton was over
court
there.
is a
They
political court to
they
begin with.
didn't throw Tony Braxton in jail. She stayed over there for 3, 2, 4 fucking weeks. They didn't throw her in jail.
Okay,
and Putin, she performed for Putin.
Okay,
Tony
so
Braxton.
maybe she's
So
highly
does he
favored.
really don't like black people, or is it just a war thing?
All right, so let's
It's a
go.
war thing.
Let's go around
Right.
the board. Let's go around the board.
I can agree with
Let's go
that. It
around the
might
board.
be a war thing.
I think that we beaten this situation down enough. Patsy, again, based upon everything that you learned tonight, do you still feel the way you felt in the beginning of the show? So again, I ask you, do you think that Britney Griner is a political prisoner and a political pawn? And do you think they are doing enough to bring her home? And can they bring her home within 30 seconds? I want your answer. Patsy only. Go, Patsy.
Yes, I think she still is a political pawn, political prisoner. And no, they're not doing enough to bring her behind home because Russia's just using this as politicalness.
Okay, we'll stop right there. We're gonna go to Timmy. 30 seconds, same question. Do you still believe she's a political prisoner or a political pawn? And are they doing enough to bring her home? Go.
I think she made herself a pawn because the law is the law.
Okay.
Wherever you go, the law is the law. That's point blank. That's it. Bottom line.
All right, bottom line. That's it. Next person, Tanya. Let's go. Same question.
Yes, I think she a political prisoner and pawn. And what was the second part of it?
Do you think that America's doing enough to bring her home, and can they bring her home?
I think they're doing enough to bring her home. People forget that it takes two to tango. And if Russia is not engaging, I don't know how much they can do without Russia.
All right. Gregory, same question.
I still believe, man. But I was gonna say I think Biden should have did a fair trade with them. They're sending money over to Ukraine so they can make weapons and have supplies. What the hell? What's the difference? Let their war prisoners go and get the people back that y'all want back, because you know they're using them as a pawn.
Okay. Rachel, still with us?
Sorry, I'm here. You can hear me?
Same question. Do you believe she's a political pawn or prisoner? And do you feel like America is doing enough to bring her home? 30 seconds.
I do think she's a prisoner who's a pawn still. When it comes to what we're doing to bring them home, honestly, I don't know. Because we don't know what they're doing up there. I don't know.
Okay.
No, there's a lot of things we just don't know.
That's fair. Robert?
Yeah. I feel when you go out the country, anywhere, whoever you are, don't make a difference. Expect the unexpected. Prepare yourself for the worst case scenario. Prisoner, political prisoner, political pawn. I believe that still, and I say to this, only time tells if they're doing enough.
Okay, that's fair. Josie?
I'm gonna go with Robert. I heard everybody, and I think that I'm gonna go with him.
So that's where you stand? Same thing?
Absolutely.
All right, Bert?
My mic's on.
Yep, your mic's on.
I believe she's no longer a pawn because that pawn piece is off the board. They played it. We don't want it. You can have it. They're not going to get her out. I wish we could just stop with the whole race, gender, sexual preference. That's the pawn that's being thrown out now to try to make it seem like it's because of this. You don't like this. So at the end of the day, there is a consequence, but there is excessive. I mean, you got the maximum when it's got to be negotiation. I don't know what they negotiate in their court, middle ground. But I do believe the sentence was excessive, but it's something that should have been dealt with.
Okay.
The law is the law, right?
Deli?
I agree and stand with what I said in the beginning. It's both. And timing is everything. Like I said, she's been doing this. It's not the first time, I believe, what Bird said. And she, with timing, she didn't expect what to happen. But I think it's all has nothing to do with any of what's going on. I think it's all has to do with power and control, like the war that's going on and the politics. That's all it has to do. So she was dealt in on their soil, so they had the upper hand and they got the chose. And as far as if they're doing enough, they're really the US, I believe their hands are really tied because they got her. It's a clean cut. So they got the upper hand. They could do it any way they want because that's their rules.
And America doesn't negotiate.
Okay. Good. Like the way you put that on Deli. Keisha, same question. Do you feel like she's a political prisoner or a political pawn? And do you feel like America is doing enough to bring her home?
Nope, they ain't doing enough.
Mm-hmm.
No.
So that's your answer.
Right. Yup, that's it.
All right, short and sweet. Who did I miss? Maria, your turn. Same question. Do you feel like she's still a political prisoner or a political pawn? And do you feel like America is doing enough to bring her home?
Maria's on pause. First,
Maria, take your phone off mic. Excuse me, off mute.
Unmute your mic.
All right.
Go back to it.
All right. So, for whatever reason, we can't get to Maria. We're gonna go to Sean. Sean, you want to take us home? Same question.
I believe she's a political pawn. And do I feel like America is doing what they can? Mm-hmm. I believe America knows it's only so much that they can do. Mm-hmm. So they're not going to do that extra leg because there's no extra leg for them to do because Russia doesn't respect us like that.
Exactly.
That's right to the point. Again, you guys, I've been saying this all night. Basically, life is
a game. Is the law wherever you go, Dave. The law is the law wherever you go.
And you've been clear about that.
States, or...
You've been clear about that. So let's go ahead and finish this up. As I was about to say, you guys, I've been alluding to this all night. Life is a game of chess, not checkers. So make your next move your best move. And Robbie, tell them where they can purchase items like such.
Hopefully all your life you can tap into emporiumplus.org where you will find the latest fashions and envy forever, S.A.M, Still a Man, Adopt a Parish Ladies First, SOS, Support Our Sisters, and Adopt a Parish.
All right, thank you guys for joining us tonight. See you next week. This has been a Still a Man podcast. Thank you for coming. God bless you all.
Good night, everyone.